Okay, this is a reaction video. This is from Diane Jennings, 10 Crazy Differences Between Irish and USA Houses. Now, I don't know when this is going to actually upload, but right now I'm doing this. It's November the 6th. It's quite early in the morning. About ready to watch Arsenal versus Chelsea. And you know who I want to win. But November 6th, so it's my mom's 81st birthday today. So happy birthday to mom. It's also my brother-in-law's birthday, too. So happy birthday to both of them. But let's get started from Diane Jennings. 10 crazy. Now I've done videos like this before, like differences between kitchens or things that are houses in the in Europe versus houses in the United States. I'm kind of different. Maybe I don't know if Ireland has anything different.
Is that a thing you have in American houses? Mom, we need
I don't know if Ireland has different things. But let's find out.
toast.
Again, this is from Diane Jennings. Please click like, share, and subscribe for her. Please click like, share, and subscribe for me as well.
So today I want to talk about some big differences between houses in America versus houses in Ireland. If you've never seen me before in your life, I'm Diana. I'm from Ireland. I've seen on YouTube before there have been a lot of
Never would have guessed you're from Ireland.
videos about the difference between British houses and American houses, but there are some very unique features to Irish houses, so we're going to talk about that today. And during all of these things, we will be talking in general. Every home has an exception to the rule, talking in general.
I don't understand why we have to put this down. Like there's exception. I think we all know that, and she's not the only one that does something like that. But I think we already know there's exceptions to every rule.
Before we get into the video, do be sure to like, share, comment.
But I get it. You got to do what you got to do. I'm not upset. It is what it is.
And subscribe. That's a really important one. Subscribe. Otherwise, an unfortunate thing might happen to you. Like for
Please click like, share, and subscribe for her and like me, just like I said earlier.
example, a flat tire. That would be unfortunate. It might have no connection to you not subscribing to this channel, but it might, You just don't know.
Is she suggesting that she's going to go and slash your tires if you don't subscribe?
Maybe just subscribe and
I don't think so.
like the video for luck. It's free. Okay, the first big difference between American houses and Irish houses is the male flap.
Yeah, I know I've seen that in British films or in English films or films where they have the male flap, or I guess they put it into your front in your like through a slot in your front door or something like that. We don't have those in the United States. I don't think we've ever had anything like that. At least I've never seen anything like that.
I know. So in Irish homes, we usually have a post box going straight in our front door. The post goes in the post box and onto your floor at the front door. American homes usually have a post box outside of their house and they'll go out to it, or if they're living in an apartment building, there'll be an area where all of their post boxes are and they'll collect their post from those little square shelf things.
And that's another thing. We don't call it post. We call it mail.
Also in this area, a big difference is hallways. I have noticed this, and let me know below if you're an American and you have a hallway, but mostly when I see American homes or any homes that I have stayed in, they have tended to not have hallways. Like your front door will open straight into your living room or your dining room. You'll use that space, whereas a lot of homes in Ireland have like an entryway, even if it's just purely to keep the coats and shoes, or it'll have like a long hallway and then you'll like have on your right hand side.
We have hallways, but not big long hallways like you do in England. Now, some houses do. Like you said earlier, there are exceptions to every rule. I mean, the house that I grew up in had a couple of hallways.
Like the living room, or on your left hand side, the dining room, or whatever it is, and then the kitchen will be ahead, the stairs. I have noticed a lot of American houses do not have hallways. The next thing is, generally speaking, in most Irish houses, in order to access the garden, you will have to go through the house. You go through the house, you'll open your back door into your garden. Whereas
that's also assuming you have a garden. Okay, I know they seem to have a lot of gardens in Great Britain. I see a lot of houses that have gardens. A lot of houses in the United States don't have gardens. Some do, but a lot of them don't.
As a lot more gardens in America tend to go all the way around the house, and you could,
assuming we have one.
Not even enter your house at all. You could just go in your front gate and you can go all around the side and the back and everything. We tend to have disconnected front and back gardens. They'll either be apart with just the house in the middle and the two lines of your neighbors to either side, or they will have like a little fence gate between the two. You mostly don't get, unless you're in a particularly large home / expensive, garden going all the way around the house. You'll have a separate front garden and a back garden if you're lucky. The next thing, we've talked about this one before, but it's just such a big difference, is plugs in the bathroom. Irish homes do not have plugs in the bathroom.
Yeah, we have plugs in the bathroom. That is a different thing. I have two bathrooms in my condo, and all of them have plugs.
Whatsoever. And whenever I stay in America, I have noticed it is just so handy to have plugs in the bathroom. Like, they are such a helpful thing to have, and you can dry your hair in the bathroom. Not so in Ireland, and it's all to do with, somebody in the comments explained to me before, the grounding and regulations in Ireland. You just can't have electricity in the bathroom. You might, in some homes, more modern homes, have access to an electric shaver, but that's it. It will have a special plug socket.
Again, that is interesting, because I would have thought that every place would have a place to plug in. Women use curling irons. They use, and men do too. Not so much curling irons, but they use hair dryers and that sort of thing. And sometimes depending on how your house is set up, you might actually plug your phone in there and charge your phone overnight.
That does not fit anything but your electric razor. The next big difference, and you guys probably saw this one coming, it's the laundry room. The laundry room is a thing only, quite generally speaking, very modern or more expensive homes in Ireland will have. We usually have our washing machine in the kitchen beside our dishwasher. Now, I would love to have.
Now, that doesn't happen in the United States. We don't put our laundry set up next to our dish. Well, you can make an argument in my place, because I don't know if you can see behind me, I'm pointing at the dishwasher. And if you go directly to the right, there's a room there where my laundry is. Okay. But generally the setup doesn't look like that, like it does over there.
Have a laundry room, but European homes are not as big usually as American homes. In addition to this, a lot of homes in Ireland do not have tumble dryers. Most of us use the washing line to dry our clothes. I bought this.
Yeah, I have a washer and a dryer, and that's what most houses in the United States have. When I grew up, you go into there was a room specifically for laundry, which had you put your washer, and then you dry it, and so forth. You didn't have a line that you went outside and you hung your clothes up.
This really cool thing years and years ago, and now I'm on to my second version of it. It's a dry buddy. You literally prop it up, you hang your clothes up inside, and it will dry your stuff like that. But if it's raining, you gotta just wait, and you can't dry your clothes mostly. People will also put our radiators to work. I believe they are different in most houses in Ireland than they would be in America. As I understand it, in America, you usually only have the type of radiators we have on the walls in very old houses. Usually you'll have an air conditioning system that will pipe hot air or cold air in.
Over to my left here, there's a room which has my water for the water pump, and a central air conditioning and heater. So I have central air and I have heat.
Into your house. We utilize the radiators and put our clothes on top of them to dry stuff. The next thing you will probably not find in American houses, that you will certainly find in a lot of Irish houses, unless they are new builds, is features that are completely from the old times or that are totally unique. So when you're living in Ireland, you could be living in a converted castle, you could be living in a converted lighthouse, but a lot of times you also have features that have just not been updated at all from when your house was older. For example, the house I grew up in, I remember we had, well, I don't remember when we moved in, but I remember we had bells on the wall. I googled these. There's only one type of bell, which is the ding dong bell. We had the ding dong, you pressed it bell, so one assumes it was just somebody in the 60s, 70s, 80s with the audacity. Now, this wasn't a humongous house by any means.
Now, again, the United States, in terms of who we are, in terms of Ireland, Great Britain, there's probably buildings and things that were built thousands of years ago, maybe 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, that are still standing. In the United States, well, they didn't discover us until about 400 or 500 years ago, maybe something like 400 or 500 years ago. And so our oldest homes, like from the 1800s, I think, and those are all on the East Coast. I mean, the oldest houses I think they have on the West Coast were around the 1910s, 1920s. I could be wrong on that, but there aren't a lot of places in the United States that are as old as what they have over there where you guys are. So that's probably one of the big differences.
But at one stage, the house would have had servants in it, or a servant, just depending. But every room had a little bell in it, and I remember my dad took the electricity, unwired it, because he was like, the kids are just ringing the bells when they want stuff. We actually never did that, but I think that was the fear. They took them away. And then I remember when we'd get like a flu or something, they'd be like, those bells would have come in handy now. So you just get, your little bell. Mom.
One of the things, only one house I ever lived in had, it was a laundry chute where you're upstairs. You could take your clothes, you put it into this hole in the wall, and it just shot it right down to the first floor, from the second floor to the first floor. And my mother would just open it up and pull the laundry out there, so she didn't have to walk up down the stairs with it. Well, she had to walk upstairs with it, but not down the stairs. So she would just collect the clothes from the chute, wash them, dry them, and then she probably would leave them on leave them somewhere like on the kitchen table, or when I said, come and get your clothes, and you'd go and you'd walk them upstairs. Well, my nephews, the first time they were ever in that house, spent hours in driving us crazy till I had to stop it, taking stuff and throwing it down there. And it's probably what she's talking about. Same thing with the bells in the home, where the father had to unplug it so the kids don't do it all the time.
I need some toast. Another thing old houses have, and I remember ours was covered up in the house I grew up in, was a dumbwaiter. I know, it's a funny name if you've never heard of it before.
I know what a dumbwaiter is, but yeah, that's not too dissimilar from the laundry chute, which I described.
But basically, it means that you have it's almost a lift exclusively for food and clothes and stuff. And it goes from the top floor.
Granted, like I said, it's not the same thing as a laundry chute, but it's not, you can put stuff on a dumbwaiter and send it down, and then have stuff being sent back up to you, if I'm not mistaken. It's not the same as a laundry chute, but it's not too dissimilar.
To the bottom floor, and it's just a way of like transporting trays or laundry and stuff from one to the other. Now, we got ours covered up because it was basically bringing a draft into the house, which, Irish electricity is super expensive, so it got covered in. But in a lot of houses in Ireland, if you actually tore down a bit of the walls, you might find a dumbwaiter in there. Great name. The next thing that is super different in Irish homes versus American homes is bedroom size. In America, bedroom size is actually mostly regulated. Generally speaking, in order to qualify something as a bedroom, it needs to be 7 foot wide in either direction.
They can put all the regulations they want in what a bedroom is in America. If I call it a bedroom, it's a bedroom, and it's not like they're going to come and cite me for it.
Ireland, this is not the case, and boy have I stayed in some places that really push the boundaries of bedroom. In Ireland, a bedroom is any room you can fit a bed in. That's
what I call a bedroom, okay? And yeah, I believe there are places like that are, yeah, it's just open the door and jump on the bed and then you crawl out the same way. I don't know, it'd be somewhat difficult, I think, to make a bed like that, but yeah.
Designed to be also a utility room or something like that. I remember one time when I was on the desperate apartment hunt in Dublin, which is an impossible task, particularly now. Ireland really needs to sort out its housing situation. I was on the hunt and I was desperate, and I came across this one place that literally you opened the door, which didn't open all the way into the bedroom, and you hit a bed, and then to get to the other side of the room, this was a single bed, you had to climb over and your cupboard was in the wall, and then you'd climb back out to get out of the room, and that qualified as a bedroom. That should be illegal. Like, it was horrendous. And I think I was considering putting a deposit down for this because there was just nowhere else to live.
there are a lot of claustrophobic people in the United States who could never survive something like that.
In the end, I didn't go for it because it was in kind of a dodgy area, so I just was like, would I feel safe walking here alone at night? Probably not, so I didn't go for that one. But yeah, in Ireland, if you can fit a bed in it, it's called a bedroom. The next big difference between Irish houses and American houses, and again, this falls back to, generally speaking, American houses tend to offer more in terms of size and land and stuff like that. A lot of Irish homes will be semi-detached properties, and this includes people from middle class, upper class style living. They will live in completely terraced housing. It's just the way a lot of them are designed, and that can be quite nice in some ways, but also, moving on to the next point, it can also be a bit annoying because you can hear everything in your neighbor's home, and that is due to how the houses are built. A big difference between American.
Yeah, you generally can't hear what's going on. Sometimes you can. Now, depends on what the situation is. Like last year when I was out in uh, South Dakota. My friend was in it. Was not we didn't share a hotel room, but he had a room, and upstairs from him, the kids were going crazy till 2 o'clock in the morning, and he could hear them, and it kept them up most of the night. And so upstairs, that's gonna be a problem. Next door, not so much, depending on where you stay.
And Irish homes is insulation. A lot of times in older houses in Ireland, there is zero insulation, completely insulation. There's zero insulation. Oh, relax there now. Your wiener's out for everybody to see. Thank you. A lot of homes, there is no insulation whatsoever, and that means you can hear everything from one building to the next. You can literally hear your neighbor's conversation.
Now you can't really do that in the United States. Where I'm at right now, okay, I'm in a condo, okay, and right in front of me, the wall that's set up, the other side of the wall is my neighbor. Okay, I can never hear what they're doing over there. I cannot hear their TVs. I cannot hear them conversations. I can't hear anything about what they're doing.
Another thing that accentuates this is both a positive and, just for the hearing things, sort of a negative. It's the structure of the houses. So a lot of times Irish houses are built out of brick and stone, whereas I had to look this up because I am not a builder by any means, so maybe somebody who's more of a professional in this sense can explain this a bit further in the comments. American houses are generally made from wood structure. So that's not really so much a thing maybe in some of the newer houses, but Irish houses would be pretty sturdy. Like, a lot of Irish houses would withstand a major weather because they're just rock. They're rock, you can't knock them down. That was due to the materials when they were built, and of course a lot of Irish houses are older than the USA itself. Another big difference, structurally speaking, is how the roofs are made. Roofs. Say it
The roof.
enough and you'll just lose all meaning.
I just call it the roof. You want to call it roofs, I'm not going to get offended, I promise.
In Ireland, we have clay or slate roofs, whereas in America, they have something that is called felt shingle. I'd never heard of this before until I started doing this video and I looked it up, but I knew they were different. In Ireland, we will only use felt shingles for roofs on temporary structures, like sheds or a building that you don't think is necessarily.
I don't think a whole lot about my roof, to be honest with you. I could care less what it's made of or what it's a roof. As long as it keeps me dry, it keeps me warm, I'm happy.
We're going to stand the test of time. It's not going to be around forever. It's a temporary structure. Of course, this means at Christmas time, it's really hard to do the stapling thing that Clark Griswold did on his roof, because you're trying to go into something that's solid, so you can't really do it so much. However, less leaky houses, you know? Next big difference is, of course, taps. Now, we are not unique in Ireland in this sense. A lot of European countries also have this. They will have one tap, and that is for your hot and your cold water.
Now, I have one tap, for my hot and my cold water, but I don't call it tap. Okay, when you said tap, I'm like, what the heck is a tap? Because again, we use different phrases in the United States. We call it a faucet. Okay, and my faucet, I have one behind me for my kitchen, in my bathroom, and upstairs. One. hot water, cold water. Or sorry, the other way around, cold water, hot water. But yeah, we don't have two.
No,
At least,
wait,
at
that's
least I
the
don't have two, and I never grew up with a place that had two.
wrong way around. So we will have two taps, one with cold, one with hot, and you just have to mix the
Yeah, never had that. Never had that.
water together in this thing. Now, to be honest, most modern houses have just the one tap like you have in the USA, or even older houses, a lot of people have, updated their stuff so they will have one tap. But in some ways, having the two taps is kind of nice. There are good things about it too. Like you can have a hot and a cold going at the same time. Sometimes that can be good, but mostly, yeah.
Yeah, you can do that and make it warm. In fact, most people do that in their shower, and if they're washing their hands, they don't want it completely cold, and they want it depends on how they wash themselves, but some teams like to really get a good scrub in there. They'll make warm, and depending on how dirty your hands are, they'll put hot and cold at the same time, make it a warm thing. It's a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, the mixy tap is better. And finally, a big difference between houses in the USA versus Ireland is your fridge and your freezer size. So generally speaking, our fridges and freezers are smaller, and if we have those huge fridges, they are called American style fridges and freezers.
Now, I used to sell appliances, and one of the things that we have a top freezer, bottom freezer. Mine's a bottom freezer, and there's one where it's a big behemoth. My sister has one where you open both doors, okay, and you can put things on both doors, and it's giant, goes way back. That's the refrigerator, okay, and then you open the bottom, which is where the freezer is, and that's called a French door refrigerator, and that's how it's set up. That's one of the things they have in the United States. Now mine's just the bottom freezers because I just have one door that you open up, and I have everything in the refrigerator, and then a bottom freezer. It's similar to a French door, but it's not the same thing. But we have big refrigerators, no question about that.
I will never get over you guys laughing at my tiny fridge. I remember thinking how unremarkable it was, and then everybody was like, "Dan, your fridge is so small." And yeah, it was even small, I suppose, by Irish standards, but I didn't think it was like crazy small, but it was enough for me. I will say, like my mom, for example, always had two freezers because of having small freezers, because she liked to have like a lot of food on standby.
And people do that as well in the United States. My mom, they have both up here. My mom they live in Ohio, and they also live in Florida during the winter months. They have an outdoor freezer, which is just a big tub, if you will, where she puts like meats and other things to keep them, versus what she keeps inside the house. So if she wants to store food in a freezer, she does that and goes and gets it and moves it into the other one. So yeah, that's not too dissimilar in the United States. A lot of people do that as well.
She's a great cook. I'm not such a good cook. And she would have like a freezer in our side passage. Is that a thing you have in American houses? We had a side passage. So speaking earlier about...
I don't know. No, we don't have... Well, we don't have anything like that. I'm just trying to think. We have them, in the garage where my mom keeps the freezer, the big freezer for storing things. But no, we don't have anything. I've never seen anything like that in the United States.
How the gardens from the front and the back are separated. Oftentimes you will have a thing that is like attached to the side of your house, temporary structure type of thing, and it will literally, you can go through the side door to the back side door without going through the house, just side passage. Do you have them in America? Let me know below in comments. Let me know indeed if there are any things that you feel I missed on this list, if you've been to Ireland and thought, wow, that's super different in your houses. Let me know. That's it for today. See you guys on the other side. Bye.
Okay, that was 10 crazy differences between Irish and USA houses. This is from Diane Jennings. Please click like, share, and subscribe for her, and like, share, and subscribe for me. I would appreciate that. But yeah, this was interesting, and hope again, I'm learning all kinds of different things about European things and a lot of German things and a lot of Irish things through Diane. So, nice to learn things. But again, please click like, share, and subscribe for her, and please click like, share, and subscribe for me, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.